Is the bicycle industry in huge trouble? We're hearing some big news from some big name companies, foreshadowing some financial difficulties and even foreshadowing maybe even a bankruptcy. Also, in today's video, if you guys stick around, we'll be talking about my retail store, how it's been one of the hardest 2 to 3 months that we just encountered in terms of sales, walk-in traffic. We'll be going over all that stuff. Also, relatable stories as well, what I've been hearing around the industry from vendors, bicycle manufacturers, and other retailers in my same situation. So if you guys do stick around, hopefully you guys enjoy. And then at the end of it, we'll kind of talk about what's keeping the bicycle industry afloat, and we'll see where it goes. If you guys did notice, I did finally get a green screen. So we're going to be talking about some financial troubles, but I want to let you guys know I got a green screen here. Feels very weird. But anyways, some serious news though. September of just last month was our worst September we ever had in the past 5 years. And we'll talk about that in just a second after we go over this news. All right, but first, let me paint a picture for you guys, okay? The past 2 to 3 months is our slow time in Florida. Usually this time everyone thinks that it's our busy season, but no, it's summertime, it's very hot. People don't like to go outside and ride the bikes. People just want to stay inside. And all these snowbirds that usually like the tourist people that come from New York and the northern states and the Canadians, they all stay up north until about late October, late November. So it is very slow for us. Maybe beach cruisers, whatever it is. We do have our occasional 1 to 2 high-end bike sales because of the fact of just the South Florida economy and a little bit more of the wealthier people around here. So maybe we might sell an S-Works or two during that month. But the past 2 to 3 months was crazy slow for us. In terms of, maybe I can count on one hand how many walk-ins we had in the customer store. Like maybe just a guy for a lock, maybe a guy for a random light or something like that. So we have a full staff, about 6 people there just sitting around. And even that, during the slow season as well, people are like, well, what about service time? There's a bunch of stores around here, America, capitalism. So there's a bunch of stores around here, maybe a shop every 5 miles or so. So there's a pick and choose of whatever service you want to do there. But also just, again, like I was saying, because people aren't riding as much because of how hot it was, there wasn't a need for the service. So it was very slow, and we didn't have the abundance of service work that I would like for the crew of people that we had on there. So we tried to go about doing email blasts. We tried to go about doing some kind of sale promotions, typical normal summer sales. We are right next to the beach, so we do have our occasional walk-ins for beach cruises. But again, that's not going to keep a 40-year-old business afloat just off beach cruiser sales and lackadaisical repair work. And over the past 2 or 3 years, we have done a crazy good job about just having a more presence of social awareness. One, my YouTube channel has brought in a ton of new customers, maybe just around the area that didn't even know our store existed. 2, the people reaching out to me buying stuff online from our e-commerce website now. We got an e-commerce website going after we started the YouTube channel that really just people just showing support, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. It's really cool for you guys to reach out. I get to communicate with you guys and just you guys show support, so it is a really cool thing. But even with all that, with the YouTube, with the e-commerce, with a 40-year-old business there, it was very slow, like crazy times to slow. I talked to other reps, I talked to other stores, I talked to other store owners, and store owners were basically telling me it would have been more profitable for them to stay closed for those 2 months than to be open and pay their employees because of how slow sales were. So they were making sales, but it wasn't covering the cost of rent, electricity, AC, paying their employees, everything, just the cost of running a business. So that's a crazy number to hear. And there was a kind of a fight and kind of a scare at that time. Reps were coming into our store from different bicycle companies, asking us to take bigger orders in. Everyone's just trying to kind of push sales and products and stuff like that. So that's how it was with the past 2 or 3 months. The month of October has been much better at the start of it. It's a little bit cooler now. People are starting to come down. We are seeing a little bit of a pickup in sales, but nothing like it was obviously in the past 2 or 3 years. Which brings us to this news story, what this kind of all brought about this video. We have here, Wiggle and Chain Reaction owner, woes continue following unjustified withdrawal of $150 million funding commitment by parent company. Basically, these two are huge e-commerce websites kind of selling off products like a backcountry, like a competitive cyclist, doing what they normally do, selling off type of stuff like this. This is a little bit more of an all-arounder where they do running and everything like that too as well. But they've been around for a while. They recently got bought out and got rebranded, I believe, and people are saying that there's problems with their website, with how they search for things and filter and stuff like that. But still, I don't think that's the cause of their financial woes. For someone to pull out 150 million just like that, um, obviously they're foreshadowing that something is going awry, and they must be an investor or backer, so they want to make sure they get their money out of there before something bad happens, like a bankruptcy. Who knows? But there was some crazy numbers to be heard here. Basically, I think it was just right here. Just last month, Wiggle CRC had announced a 97 million loss for the year of 2022. That is a crazy number to just be a loss. Obviously, they tried rebranding. They changed their logo, I guess, for the website. They changed their complete website functionality. They changed their logo. They want to be rebranding, more modern and stuff like that. But to have that kind of number of a loss of money, it doesn't matter what you do at that point. I mean, literally at that point, you're just trying to sell off stuff and recoup money. As we can see right here, everything must go up to 75% off, workshop clear out. So that's why everyone's there's been no news of a bankruptcy yet, but that's why everyone's kind of foreshadowing it, because basically what happened is that they pulled out their 150 million of financing just a week after the German sports e-commerce giant delisted their shares from the New York Stock Exchange. So basically, they're just trying to become liquid, took away their shares, people backed out, and obviously it seems like they know something's going on. So this is what brings me up to this video. You have two pretty big giants right here. Overstocked. And this is where this all comes about. This is the aftermath of those COVID times. We all see where the economy's at now. We all see where the politics are now in this world. The economy's not the best. My cost of living went up everywhere. No matter what you did. We're all seeing it. It doesn't matter. It's not just the bicycle industry. We're seeing the car industry. We're seeing the outdoors industry. We're seeing the RV industry. Every kind of outdoors industry that was booming during COVID, and even cars, whatever, are now completely overstocked. Interest rates are high as hell, and people really are starting to double think on when they should spend their money. And there's not as much free money as there used to be during that COVID time. So, but this is pretty crazy to start thinking that this is where the bicycle industry can go. You have two of these big backed, huge e-commerce websites that literally all you have to do is just list product on there and sell it, and keep stock in there. But basically what's happening is they probably overordered, overstocked, paid a bunch of money for this revamp, paid a bunch of money for employees to kind of go ahead and get everything going. Sales have slowed down substantially. They're not being able to pay on their bills, so now they're starting to do sales. Now they're not making a profit margin. They're basically just clearing even just to pay back financial backers, pay back rent, whatever it is, and then they're just starting to see losses on top of losses on top of losses, to the point where they're just basically like, hey, pull the plug, let's get out of there. So this is a scary thing, that this is something you think that could, you're starting to see sales everywhere. Backcountry, 20% off. I'm sure during this Black Friday coming up in November, you're going to see massive sales on competitive cyclists, like my video I did before, where competitive cyclists had like SRAM Red. There's still a huge amount of stock of SRAM Red on there. I just had a customer who had a SRAM Red chainring, a 5037 with a cork power meter, which retails for $880. SRAM had a bunch of them in stock. He wanted it next day, so he checked on some website. They had it listed for $440 brand new. They literally, he's like, I don't know how they made money, and they gave him free shipping on Saturday. They're literally just trying to move the inventory what they have in there just to pay their bills. So like I just touched on before, the whole industry is overstocked, not just on components, but on bicycles as well. And when you have these massive e-commerce websites like this that are overstocked and trying to compete with it and in financial problems, basically this just leads to a race to the bottom, because they're in financial problems. They do sales. They're pushing product. Not only are they competing against now other e-commerces, those other e-commerce websites, like, let's just say, for example, Competitive Cyclist, 15% off right here. They see their sales going out there, so they have to match their sales if they want to stay relevant. They're trying to sell. So now you have this race to the bottom. I'm seeing this as a retailer. I'm trying to sell product because a customer will come in and say, hey, can you price match this? Can you price match this? Can you price match this? Hey, I see this online. Can you price match this? But they're trying to go ahead, and I'm trying to stay relevant as well. Then you throw a whole wrench into the pedal, and you have one of the biggest and most competitive and saturated used market I've ever seen, ever. 2 or 3 years ago, you were literally selling used stuff for twice the price. today's current market, you're seeing people dump high-end stuff, S-Works bicycles for half price. People literally maybe just looking to make a rent check, dumping bicycles that they bought during that COVID boom, trying to recoup some kind of money. Used stuff everywhere, left and right. It's crazy. I have not seen a used market this strong. It's insane. I'm seeing companies like the Pros Closet, other used by companies like Bicycle, companies like Trek, all making these certified pre-used bicycles out there. These business ideas thrived during COVID because of the fact that people were getting top dollar for their used bikes, and these companies were turning around and selling for even more of a profit. But now, from what all we can see, is that they have a massive inventory of collected of, I like to say, overpaid price bicycles, and then they're trying to remarket and resell it to them. So now, not only do I have to, me as a retailer, compete against e-commerce websites that are going out of business, I have to compete against used bikes selling like this as well. It's insane. And not only that, this is another reason why I think retailers are in issues as well. And this is why anyone, a small business owner, a big business owner, once you're in financial issues, you'll do anything to kind of go ahead and just pay your rent that month. This right here is a bicycle that just released, and I don't know if this is normal for Pros Closet. Correct me if I'm wrong. A Roubaix S-Works Roubaix Specialized S-Works Roubaix SL8 frame set 2024. This thing just came out, 52, 56, and 58. I don't know if they have some kind of deal with Specialized, but I could see a dealer just getting this on their books for, they placed the order, it showed up, and then money's due. I didn't know that they were a Specialized dealer on here. Also, a bicycle that's not in stock at all. I can't get these bicycles. They have in stock here a Specialized Tarmac SL8 frame set in a 56 and 58, $5,500 retail. So the only thing I can think of is that a retailer got these bicycles. They were hurting for it. They knew that Pros Closet would buy it for maybe their costs. They get that cost money. They can pay back their bills on something to go ahead and pay their rent off and go ahead and get another month out of their store to go ahead and figure it out. It's crazy right now. Now, we talked about components. We talked about the used bicycle market. Now let's talk about the actual big name bike manufacturers. I know this from the industry, from just people I've talked to, and this is credible, but I'm not obviously going to put the companies on blast. I'm just using Trek as an example here. But these bicycles right here, the Trek Marlin, the Specialized Rockhopper, the Scott Aspects, all these kind of $500-$600 entry-level mountain bike that you could not find during COVID that every single person wanted. I'm hearing rumors now that majority of all these companies out there of this bicycle, because they oversold them in 2020, they put in a massive order because they thought that the water was never going to shut off. It's like, oh, we're always going to sell these forever. We're going to sell them forever. They put in these massive orders for these things. I heard from big name bike manufacturer. I'm talking about not like a small one-off company. A big name manufacturer says they have stock in every single SKU around these price points and size and everything for over 6 years. That's crazy. That's just from one. So not only will you see the same color wave and the same bicycle spec, but they're going to be dumping these things the moment they get. You're going to be seeing sales after sales running for these things. Not all the time, but when they do sell them off, they'll be pretty competitive. And again, it's not Trek. I'm just using them as an example, but it was crazy how literally over just 2 years I can change to a point where I could sell these bikes for $100, $200 over if I wanted to. And people are buying these things used online for $600. Now you can't even give them away. This customer is non-existent anymore. The customer for the Rockhoppers are non-existent. The customer for the $600 hybrids are non-existent. The customers for the mountain bike scene. The mountain bike scene has fallen off insane amount. And not just Specialized or Trek, whatever it is. Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is a massive bicycle mountain bike enthusiast company. Everyone loves Santa Cruz. They're a cool looking bike. I've heard from every single retailer I know, store that I know, that literally their mountain bike sales have fallen off. And again, during 2020, we couldn't get them fast enough. Now, I don't even have people walking in from my store asking about them. I don't have people calling me about them. Like I said, the last time I think I even sold some like high-end mountain bikes or mid-tier $3,000 to $5,000 mountain bikes was when Specialized was running their crazy blow-off sale of like 30% off. And that drew in a lot of walk-in traffic during times where people weren't spending. But holy cow, man. Like the mountain bike scene, Not just the all mountain, but the cross country, the downhill for me is crazy. Now you guys might be saying, "Oh, it's Florida, you probably don't see it." I might be, but majority of all the retailers in Florida are like this. It is crazy to me, and I have a feeling again because of the fact that that COVID boom, every single person bought a mountain bike. They all rode it, and then maybe the fact that they're just trying to unload it. So literally before that person says, "I'm gonna buy a mountain bike," their buddy's like, "Hey, I bought a mountain bike. Let me dump it to you." So now we have to compete with every single person out there. So to wrap this whole video up, and thank you guys for sticking around. If you guys are still here, by the way, thank you so much. But to wrap this video up, what is selling? What is keeping these bicycle shops afloat right now? And literally, it is just the high-end stuff. The 1%ers inventory of stuff, the S-Works, the Pinarellos, the Madones, all the stuff like that. That is majority of what's selling right now. The people who aren't affected by today's economy, the people who have the money to splurge and don't think twice about the money about it. These are all kind of bike builds I've been doing. Sold for customers and stuff like that. Sold for customer. Sold for customer. These are the bikes. These are the bicycles that are going to be sold right now. And it's not just the bicycles. I have people upgrading to wheels. People are thriving. Like I said, Princeton wheels are super hot right now. I can't seem to sell them fast enough. Literally, people call me up. I don't know if it's just because again that consumer, that market for a $4,000 wheel, they have maybe a $2,000 wheel. They're just like, screw it. I just really want this wheel set. So I'm seeing more and more of like people upgrading to Dura-Ace, people upgrading to SRAM Red, people having whatever it is, just upgrading to a nicer wheel set. I really don't see the person upgrading to the 303 Zip right now. I don't see the customer splurging for the $1,600 wheel. I don't see the middle class going out and buying a $2,000 road bike. I don't see the middle class going out and buying the $4,000 road bike. It's usually just like the $8,000 and up kind of category. And then the nice niche high-end stuff, the lightweight wheels, the Doremo stuff, the carbon tie, the Dura-Ace. That type of stuff is really helping our store keep afloat. And we are very fortunate enough to be in the economy of South Florida to have those customers kind of drive in there. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up for this video. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear from other stores as well if you guys are having similar issues or similar things going on in your store. But yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and share you guys, let you guys know the ups and downs of this industry. And as of right now, it's October 20th, and we're just keep on trucking. Every single day we go on, work, push. You gotta keep on just pushing. That's it. So anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.